Hey, hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, 4 crazy rescue dogs, rescue cat, and rescue guinea pig, who likes to craft in her spare time, has gone back to school and has earned her degree in sign language interpreting, and is trying to train for Ironman. If you're new here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message and boosts my serotonin and my self-esteem. And I could use both. And if you're a returning friend, you already know the crazy you're in for, so sit on down after you've grabbed your drink and let's have at it. Um, yeah. Where did last week go? Where did last week go? It was kind of crazy. So Bean has one more final. The semester ends either Monday or Tuesday, but it must be Monday because she doesn't have a final on Tuesday, and normally that's her long day. She is taking classes during the summer. I know one of them is a science class, and one of them is world history. Sadly, neither one of them are at the campus that's right here by our house. They're at the campus way the hell out. Both kids got their learner's permit on Friday. There was a whole hullabaloo with car insurance, my ex-husband, and my driver's license. So I got all that straightened out. I had my probable cause hearing. That's going well. I have a lot to do, and I've run out of paper here at the house. So the other thing is I have already cleared out 2 bags of stuff, and then I've got a carload of stuff that I'm taking to donate, and done some moving around of things. And I'm looking up on the top of my refrigerator, and I can see another thing that can go in the donation pile. So I was listening. So we know that this has been a journey, and it's been really hard because oftentimes I'm having my mom and stuff dump things on me. And on one hand, I appreciate. The sad thing is some of the things she's dumping on me, I'm like, what? And then other things that I've wanted, she's donated. And I'm like, what? And I've been battling this whole, I've read the Maria Kondo book. Okay, listen, if I got rid of everything that didn't spark joy in my house, to be honest, I don't know that I'd have much more. I don't know that I have an oven most days. Really, the toilet bowl brush does not spark joy. It doesn't. Do I have to have a toilet bowl brush? Well, I mean, I guess technically I don't, but I do. What? So that, the whole Maria Kondo, that doesn't make sense to me. If it works for you, great. Okay, I'm trying to find a system that works for me. I then read, what is it, the Swedish death cleaning way, and it's basically, do you want your loved ones to deal with this once you're dead? Well, no. Again, I don't want my kids to have to deal with the toilet bowl brush, but the reality is I'm going to need the toilet bowl brush before I die. I don't want them to have to deal with the pantry and the canned goods, but we have to eat. So that doesn't necessarily make sense to me either. It made a little bit more sense than Maria Kondo. So I was listening to a podcast, and basically what they said is, if you are struggling with clutter or whatever it is, imagine if your house completely burned to the ground and you lost everything in it. Obviously not your pets and your children, but all of the tangible items. And the insurance paid you for every single item in your house. would you go out and rebuy that exact same item with that money? And if the answer is no, then that is something to consider donating or getting rid of. And that was like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. That just, yeah. So I am, again, like there's little cleaning processes that I've found in other books that I've shared with you along the way. I'm sharing what right now seems to be working in my brain. Would I replace my birth certificate? Yes, and I would replace the kids. That, like, those are important papers. They're in my important paper box. Would I replace the spaghetti sauce in my pantry? Yes, that's important. Would I replace the duplicate food processor that I've been handed down? No. So I found that a home. I also have a toaster oven that I was passed along. I don't have counter space for it. I've never used a toaster oven in my life. So that's going to be donated. I have a second microwave. Actually, it's a third because I have one at my office already. I called a friend of mine because originally he wanted it, and I come find out he doesn't now. So again, that's in the donate pile. I have a waffle cone maker with the original box. Waffle cone maker. It belonged to my grandmother. I would like to, on one hand, like there's the tie to it because it's my grandmother's. But one, I don't remember my grandmother ever using it. I mean, maybe once, but certainly not on a regular basis. We've now owned the waffle cone maker, probably a year. It's been sitting here. We have yet to take it out of the box even. And I was like, okay, if the place burned down tomorrow, would I replace the waffle cone maker? And the answer is no. No, I would not. I would not. Because anytime I have wanted a waffle cone, I have gone to like the ice cream shop and gotten an ice cream in a waffle cone. I've gone to the Dairy Queen or the, whatever. And I've just gotten a waffle cone with my ice cream. Hang on one second. Okay, sorry about that. So that's in the donation pile. So that's already. And then I have a backup bike trainer stand that honestly somebody could get use out of it. Right now it's just sitting here. Trainer bike stands are up on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, sometimes for free, sometimes for like less than $10. I mean, I don't have like the ooh la la computerized one. It can go, and I've already got a home for it. It's just a matter of I just needed to put it in the car and take it to them. That is not going to happen today. I don't know what's going on in my back. It's actually not my back. I think it's my kidneys. I feel like somebody has kicked me in my kidneys. So I am making it an effort to really push a lot of water. I don't know if it's from all of the medication I've had to take lately and things. I don't know. All I know is that it hurts. To the point where, like, honestly, I'm talking about, it just hurts. Okay. So that said, I got a lot done this last week. I've got a lot that needs to get done. But I got a lot of stitching done. And what's weird about that is, okay, so the WIPGO numbers were called for May. Like, where are we in the year? I don't know. In May. Okay. So, first of all, I got my WIPGO board caught up. So I can start May, now that May numbers are called. The way I work my board is as soon as the numbers are called, I can actually work ahead because I do mine as a year-long thing. But like if I haven't worked on the numbers that have been called for May, then I can start on working on them the second they're called. Okay. So before numbers were called, I was like, just kind of one of those like just having one of those stitching moments where it's like, I want to get stuff done. I want to knock out some of the things that were close to being done, but like we're just kind of lingering. At my office, I call them low-hanging fruit items on my things to do list. And so there was a lot of that this last week, like knocking out those low-hanging fruit items. May numbers were called, and for me, and she called 13. 13 is the center square. 13 for me was to FFO 10 items. As you guys know, I did that. I've done more than 10. I may use May to pull out my basket of finishes and knock out a bunch more FFOs. Now that we've rearranged some things in the kitchen, I may actually have a spot to put a little tiered tray and be all fancy. And I'm kind of excited about that. So the other one, so because the center was called, she picks 2 others as well. So for me, it's a periodic table. Yay. We all know the blanket that is. It's a small project. So I need to put at least 1,000 stitches in there. What's nice about that is that in June, I always take that to StitchCon with me. It's a StitchCon piece because right now it's just, I'm still doing the grid of the tables. And so it's just, I take my cone, my big ass cone of 310, because I have the mega cone of death, of doom. I take this, I take my piece. I don't have to count it because I penciled in the lines and the markers of where things go. And I can chit chat and work away. It's also an easy place for me when I want to take a picture of the progress. It's easy to grab 2 people and be able to take a picture of it. So it will get love in May. It will get love again in June. It will get love again in another month. Okay. The other square that got called was it's the boy child. We had chicken nuggets. I made them. The other choice that was called is one that's slated for a viewer's pick. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But I do have a little bit of haul. I had to order some DMC. I hate ordering DMC because I literally have like 5 Joannes in the area, several Michaels. Technically, we have like 2 Hobby Lobbies in the area. There's actually a stitch shop up in Bay City, which is where I go to, like, I have to drive up there this next week, even, to file some paperwork. It's not my favorite stitch shop. I'd rather, but, like, I can't. But all of them have been out of, and the one color I couldn't even find, and it's color 3885. So I ordered 2 of them because I was like, I can't find even the slot for this anywhere here. I have a hard time paying for it because Joann's and Michael's and stuff puts it on sale, or you get a coupon, and even at the regular price, it's so much cheaper than ordering it online and having it shipped. So, but I also needed beads, some Mill Hill beads for a project, and because we can't let things travel alone, I picked up 2 patterns to work on my set. So I now have the Surf Shop. Do I have this one already? I have to find the others. I don't think so. I know I have the bike shop and the ice cream shop. I don't think I ordered the surf shop before, but now I have the surf shop. If it's a duplicate, I'll auction it off. We'll raffle it off. Like, whatever. So I got to check that. I just literally got them out of the mailbox this morning, even though it's Sunday. And then I'm hoping that this is the next one in that series, the new series from Lizzie Kate. It's not a new series from Lizzie Kate. It's a new series that I'm hoping to start to go along with my 3 small words. But now I'm looking at this and I'm going, I don't think this is the same series. So I've got to find that one too. Welcome to my world where we do crazy shit. Okay. But so as I said, I went a little bonkers on trying to finish low hanging fruit. And those are 2 finishes I've already shared with you. And so I started off my week finishing up Mini Long Dog by River Drift Designs from Creative Puppies. How am I going to finish this? I'm glad you asked. The answer is I don't have a clue. It's a little bit big to be an ornament. I mean, it's probably like 4.5 or 5 by square. I don't know. So that was off my list of goal of 24 and 24. So then what was the next one? Well, we had to, again, we were also oh, I found the other 2. Again, okay. So no, I do not have the surf shop. So yay me. So now I have 3. There's 6 in this series, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. 6 or 8. I don't know, but I have 3 of them. They're super cute. I can't wait. Okay. So then the next thing it was also on my Whip Go board, but and ironically, I left it off my 24 and 24 finishes. I'm going to add it in there because, yeah. So I'm going for 25 finishes and 24 apparently, because why not? Okay, what am I talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. That would be Santa's Travels by Barbara Anna. I do really love this piece. It's so pretty. Am I glad it's done? Yes. Do I know how I'm going to finish it? Not a clue. Not a clue. Will I ever stitch it again? A second time? No, probably not. Would I recommend that you all stitch it? Yes, if it is something that calls to you, stitch it. Okay, so then, I don't know, as if those 2 weren't enough, hold on to your hats. Because I had a couple days where I was just literally having to sit in waiting room after waiting room after waiting room. And one of the projects that was really good for that, and so I'm kind of, in one ways, I'm super excited it's done and off my list. And on the other hand, I'm kind of sad because it was a manageable size if you're sitting in a waiting room. Like the periodic table is not a manageable size to just travel with other than to stitch on. But this one was easy because it was just fill in. And I'm talking about my sorority armorial bearing. I'm an Alpha Gamma Delta. And I love it done. I did this on 32 count, one more reproduction, 32 count Joblin in the color, one more reproduction by Be Stitch Me Fabrics. I love it. I cannot wait to get it ironed and find a frame for it. I absolutely love it. But hang on to your hats. There's more. I know. Aren't you like, what the heck? I know. So then I was like, well, now what do I do? Whip Go numbers. Whip Go numbers have been called, but I wasn't feeling like I already finished the one, obviously, because this is in a square. I wasn't feeling the need to pull, I wasn't in a position where I could pull out the periodic table because it was a lot of on-the-go stitching. And so I was like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? And I was like, you know what? Let's pull out my oldest whip. My oldest whip, okay, so the first oldest whip I finished last year. It was the one from when I was a little girl. It was actually an embroidery kit. And I finished her last year. I need to FFO her. But her stitching is all done. And her ponytail is on now. And actually we turned it into a braid because that's usually what I do. So my next oldest whip, I believe I started these when the twins were in kindergarten. Now that said, I initially, I think, was going to do a set of 8 for my mom because they're placemats. My mom never has all of us over ever. Like, again, because we just, because of things that have happened, that's never going to happen. That's just the next time we will all 3 of us siblings and grandchildren will ever probably be in the same room together again as when my mom passes. That is what it is. I'm trying to think if no, I honestly I think that will be it. So I settled on, but my mom regularly has like one friend over or like 2 of us or whatnot, right? It's not unusual for my mom to have a dinner table set for 4. So I was like, okay, 4 placemats. 4 placemats is doable, right? I mean, 8 technically can be doable, but I was like, not feeling the love. And I think that's why it lingered for so long, was because there were so many of my own feelings wrapped up in this project because of family drama. And I realized in the last 2 months, I've had some really big breakthroughs personally on a lot of different things, actually. So, and we've talked about that. So, I had one done. I think last year I was attempting, I got another one done like last year. So then we were like at 2, and I was like, okay, 2 more placements, right? And I put it on WIPCO this year because I was like, I'm getting this project done. It's on the board twice. And I was like, okay, that's, at that point, I think when I put it on the board, I hadn't finished the second one, but I was like, okay. And I hadn't decided on a set number that I was going to do. So I put it on the WIPCO board twice. I was like, we're knocking this one out. It's on my 24 and 24. And, I mean, the shop I got the pattern from isn't even in business anymore. And it was one of the, like the little freebies that her and I had talked about. And then she put it down on paper and like we passed it. She had a couple of patterns that we had done that way, way back then. Because again, the kids are in college. My kids are going on 23. And I'll show you what I'm doing in just a second. Okay, so there are these cute little patriotic ants. None of mine are exactly the same. I use the same pattern. None of mine are the same. I don't know how this happens. All I can say is counting is hard. But it says, did someone say picnic? And what you do is it's on 14 count Aida, so they're nice, and I cut them to the size, and then I did a small zigzag about 1/4 of an inch or so, maybe a little bit more than that. Is it a zigzag? I might have done a straight stitch. It's a straight stitch. Did a straight stitch in the rectangle of my placemat. So that way, all you have to do for your Aida to get the nice little fringy outline is literally just start at one end, and you just kind of, like when your fabric's fraying and you're like, well, now you actually want it to fray. but it will stop where the stitching is. It won't go past that. So then you have this cute little frazzled edge. So placement number 1. I think it could have been one of the ones that's already done. Placement number 2. The only thing that's left to do is to fray the little edges, but whatever. The point is placement number 3. So 2 of them have a little neck scarf and 2 of them don't. None of my flags are the same. I don't know how. But I now have a set of 4 placemats done. And I've got to figure out, I got to get the little schmutz off. I think I am going to put some fusible on the back of the stitching, kind of like if it was a brush bun. But this knocked out 2 squares off my whip go and another thing off my list. So on my list, I now have I now have 13 finishes done off my list in the hopes of 25, apparently. Is not even halfway through the year. Now that said, the ones that are left are kind of big because we still have Kay and Dennis that full coverage. The second half of my Modern Folk embroidery sale, Monopoly, my Peppermint Purple Black work, which is on track still, Mermaid Santa, which I'll show you in a second, my Oz Epic Adventure, which is a gift, the Space Cell, which should be a finish if once it's called, it's another square on my whip go, and then the Heat Miser, the Snow Miser, the Grinch, and the Max Ornament. Now, Max and Grinch are freebies from Brooks Books. The Miser brothers were an Etsy buy. And then I have some, if I'm going to keep pushing for more finishes this year, I have a couple on my list. Okay, so, but that finishing the ant placements knocked off square 2 and 20 already. So I could technically skip May's and technically be still on track. But we know we're not going to do that. We're going to work on it. So the question becomes the viewer's choice. So far, wait, before I show you that, before we do that, I did put, so the next low-hanging fruit is Mermaid Santa. All that's left is the back stitching. And I say that, and I laugh to myself because the back stitching on this rivals a Wentzler is a lot. And some of them are 2 strands, and some of them are 1, and some of it's 3, and is a lot. But, so I pulled out Santa, because while he's not on my whip go board, he is on my finish list. I want him on my wall for Christmas. I got all of the back stitching on his arms. Some of it is, because counting is hard. Have I told you all this? Counting is hard. So not all of his tattoos from the pattern are on him. I'm fine. He's still fairly tatted up. I then have outlined his tail all the way down to the page finish. So this is all of page 1. Page 1 is done. He comes in, he's technically a 4-page pattern, but the 1 page, there's like 1 square on it. Like, dude, we're not doing that. Okay, so in my brain, he's a 3-page pattern. Page 1, page 2 is like this chunk, and then page 3 is here. Okay. So now I'm working on page 2 of the back stitching. I'll hold them a little closer. Okay. It's all of his scalies. There is a rhythm and a madness to it, and I have started to find that. not perfectly. I've had to frog a little bit, and that's a bitch. Okay. We'll scooch. Okay. So, but I do feel like I made a huge chunk of progress on it yesterday. Like it feels good. Like I feel like, okay, we're getting there. So realistically, it is the 28th. The 28th. I'd like to tell you that by in the next 2 days, he'll be completely done. I'd like to tell you that. I think I would be lying. Do I think he'll be closer? Yes. Today, like I said, I was going to stitch. I'm probably going to stitch a little bit more. I will stitch more tonight. And I may work on him, but he does require a good amount of concentration. Because, again, sometimes it's a single strand, sometimes it's 3 strands, sometimes it's, you have to constantly be double checking. But it's nice to know, but that is the next closest to a finish. Okay. So, oddly enough, that's really weird. I don't know what I was thinking. Monopoly is on my list of 24 and 24, but it did not make. I thought it was also on my WIPCO board, and it's not. The Boy Child's Map game board is on my WIPCO. What was I thinking? Okay, so a couple things got suggested. When I asked last week, I was like, if something is a viewer's choice, what are we talking about? What are we looking at? So far on there that's been said is Monopoly, Jeep Van Gogh, Science Hamster or Science Guinea Pig. Is that not just the most adorable? Like, he's so cute. He's another one that, like the sorority emblem, is once the outline is there, he's nice big chunks of filling, which makes him a great in the car project. It makes him a great, honestly, stitchy retreat sort of piece, because he won't require a lot of thinking at that point. He's so cute. And if I really, really love my daughter, which I do, okay, I do. If I really, really love my daughter, what I would do is the guinea pig himself. I may do like one leg of Whisper so that he's a fuzzy guinea pig. Do I love my daughter that much? Because that's a pain. But now that I've said that out loud, now that's kind of what I want to do. So this was one of the candidates: Monopoly, Jeep Van Gogh, and Kay and Dennis. Kay and Dennis is on my WIPCO board another time, though. So, yeah. Oh, and I'm going to put it on this bright, and that doesn't even, like, I wish I could get you to see how bright this lime green, like, wow. Guinea pig is going on this. I know. It is so bright, though, that I almost wonder if it wouldn't be worth it to just quickly dunk it in some tea dye, just to kind of, like, bring it down a level. I'll ask Bella. Since it's for her. Okay, so you guys know what Jeep Van Gogh is. I have been feeling the draw to work on buffet mat, which is also a gift. Why do I give such huge pieces? I'm a donut hole. Like, why do I do that? Why am I not giving people like little ornaments? Here's an ornament that take me like a weekend. No, I'm gifting a project that's going to take me 57,000 years. And I'm hoping to have done by the year 2050,000 of the year of our Lord and Savior. Okay. So then so we need to narrow that down. So which do you think? Do you think we should, in the periodic table, that was the other one but since that already got called, kind of wonder, I'm fine with putting in 2,000 stitches into the periodic table this month and then more next month. I'm absolutely fine with it. So throw in your opinion down below. So do I double up on periodic table? Do I work some more on K and .S, which I will anyways? Do I start the guinea pig scientist, or do I pull out Jeep Van Gogh? Let me know. Or Monopoly. So those are your 5 choices. Okay. So then the other one is Candace. Not Candace. It's not Candace. The 614 stitcher. Is it Candace? I can see her face. I cannot think of her name. I don't know. She does mental health May. And I don't really I have the self-esteem sampler, and I guess technically I could pull that out for May and push to finish that. That's one of those push pieces. Like if I can get it done this year, that'd be really great. But maybe I won't. But I've also been considering restarting it because I haven't been, like, some of my colors aren't like totally popping on my fabric. But then I'm like, I got a lot into it. Okay, so, but for me, the beach and the water, like to be near a lake or the ocean and be able to put my feet in the sand of the water, that calms my soul. That is one of those things. So I have 2 beach pieces. So we need to pick from for mental health May, or we could pull out the self-esteem sampler. Both of these are so both of these are on my intended starts. The self-esteem sampler, neither one of them are slated for a finish though. And the self-esteem sampler is one of those push pieces for this year. So the first one is High Tide, and it says, in high tide or in low tide, I'll be by your side. I absolutely love that. It was in a magazine that I check out of my library. So then I screen saved the pictures. I sent the pictures to myself and I printed out the pattern. I don't know how else to do it when you're checking out magazines out of Libby, how to do it. I don't know. So to tell you which magazine it's out of, I'd love to be able to tell you that, but I can't. I also can tell you that I have not pulled any of the flosses or the beads for it yet. I have fabric pulled for it, and sometimes that's the hardest part. Okay, so High Tide to pick. Lord have mercy. The other one is Toes in the Water, Face in the Sun. I picked this one up when I was up north in Alpena and visited Stitches and Blooms. I also have pulled the fabric for this, and I have the Weeks Dye Works. I don't have the DMC yet. No, but this is another one that I would absolutely. And it's slated. I'm slated to start it. I don't want to start both of them quite yet. Whatever one I don't start, if I start one of them, then the other one will likely be my birthday start in October. So yeah. So then, oh, here's the other thing. On a D-stash, I picked up this, and I've already picked up the flosses, and I have white Ada pulled because it's stitched on white Belfast linen. I just pulled white, honestly, white Ada, 14 count Ada. I don't know why it's so loud when we water our dog. Okay, so it's by Hands on Design, which I love. Kathy Haberman and her husband and their designs. It's called Life is Just, and it's a bowl with cherries. I fell in love with this because Bean used to wear clothes that she does not like to eat cherries, which is the funniest thing. Now there's a specific weird little cherry she will eat. But in general, she doesn't like to eat cherries. But as a little girl, she wore cherries on her clothes all the time. It was one of the few things that for sure she would wear. And it cracks me up. But this big old bowl, I have one that looks just like it. That was my grandmother's. And I believe it was her great grandmother's or my great grandmother's, her mother's, that's been passed down that I love. And I will put, it's super heavy. But the two together, I absolutely loved it. And I was like, yes, please. Yes, yes, yes. And it includes it included the little cherry charm, which they're so cute. I don't even know where it goes. And then I don't know what it's a cute little card, but there's like not enough of them to be floss drops, so I don't know what it is, but it's very cute. It's only 53 by 77. Although maybe I will have to get some linen because there's Smyrna crosses. I've never done a Smyrna cross. I don't know that you can do a Smyrna cross on Ada. But I absolutely adore this finish even. So I do have that. That's not slated to get started anytime soon. But we never know. We never know. Never know. Okay, so that's everything I bought. That's everything I've stitched. Questions for you about what's next? Something I need to go check on. So yeah. So that's it. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna go do some more housework. Or maybe make a trip to the Virgin Care. I do need to also start. May's gonna be like the start month, and I've been so good about not because I love seeing my whip list shrinking. I'm loving that. Like it makes me happy. So to start a bunch of new things is actually starting to give me anxiety because my whip list isn't as small as I want it to be right yet. So that's why part of me would like to work like the viewer's choice. Part of me would rather not start something new, but rather because remember I have to start I had to do the frame for the Deadly Aquarium, and I mistakenly also showed Bella the Poisonous Greenhouse and the Haunted Library, and all she did was laugh. Which in Bella's world, like when it's a certain laugh. It's one of those like that's hysterically awesome, and I would love them. But I don't want to ask you to do a bunch more for me right now because I know it's going to add stress to you, and I don't want to do that. So my goal is I will stitch them all for her at some point. But this is a sale, and I want to I want to get the frame done. So, and I have pulled the fabric, and I pulled 310. I am going to do the little, somebody in the group has already done the little skull and crossbones, and they did it in glow in the dark fabric or glow in the dark floss, and I am here for that. All about that. I did also, as a surprise to her, I didn't ask her. I joined the Frosted Pumpkins new sale, which is the Arctic animals. Because the one that they preview is a little puppet. And I think a baby seal. And it's funny because I know my daughter well enough to know, like, she loves the cutesy stuff, but she loves the, like, deadly animals. She likes, she's just funny. She's got a great range, and I love that about her. The other thing that I try to do though is this is such a twin mom with trauma thing to do, is I try to make sure, like, if I have 4 projects for my son, then I have 4 projects for my daughter. I don't have 16 projects for her and none for him, kind of thing. Like, I try to keep it equal. So, but let me know what you think I should do for Mental Health May and what I should do for the viewers pick. I would like to have them picked by, like, Wednesday, by the weekend for sure, but the sooner the better, just because. And so, yeah. So, with that, remember, you are smart. You are loved. You are cherished. You are strong. You are wanted. You are needed. You are beautiful. And you matter. So, that I will see you next week here. Till then, I love you, and I'm available. So if you need me, reach out, and I'll talk to you then. Bye, y'all.